chat? How are we doing? How are we doing? Happy, what is it? Thursday? Thursday, pretty much the weekend, close enough. Um, Krabs will be joining us in a second, but how about yesterday, man? What a day. What an absolute day. Couple sweat-free winners. Shout out the squad ride. Shout out the Irish. Banging all over the place. Michigan State. That line was crazy. We had a couple good winners. Butler, sweat-free. UT Rio Grande Valley, sweat-free. Blackhawks, definitely not sweat-free. What a third period they have. And yeah, teams down 12 at half and win by 16. I mean, that's college basketball for you. A lot of ebbs and flows. So glad we could get some pretty solid winners. How are we doing today, though? Made 1K yesterday. Let's do it again. That's what we love to hear. I love Lamp. That's what we love to hear. That's what we absolutely love to see. And yeah, there were some very solid days yesterday. And shout out the Frogs too. Shout out the Frogs taking care of Providence as they should. Frogs are back. We'll talk about that. Talk about that in a little bit. New Mexico, shout out them too. That's not them, but on the other side of that game, there's definitely a team that we're going to talk about a little soon because that is an interesting one. Maryland Shore with the dub, yeah. Shout out Krabs, love to see that. And yes, this is Nightbot's got it down right here. Man, swimming, absolutely swimming in fryer piss. We love to see that. Donated on the World Cup early. Let's get it back. Plenty of time to get back. We got a slim slate, but plenty of time to do that. Love to see some Eddie Lampkin love in the chat. That's what we love to see. He's been kind of lackluster for the beginning of the season, so love to see that he's not doing cardio anymore. Krabs is coming. He's in the queue. He's coming up.
Oh,
there we go.
10-4s. 10-4s.
10-4s.
How we doing?
Doing great.
Good.
Doing great.
BTL episode 129 piece. How about it?
Kick it off.
How about it? Chat, what is up? How we doing? How about that day yesterday? Days like that don't grow on trees. Okay? You can't expect perfection every day because you're not going to fucking get it. All right? Good work yesterday. We saw the board clear as day. Did get to see my boy Study Hall Sharp, my son, yesterday. He's actually a pretty normal dude. But yeah, that was awesome. What a game last night too by George W.
Yeah.
How about it?
Electric.
How about it? Dude, them boys can play.
Love to see that.
Them boys can play. I don't know if anybody in here actually watched that game. It was on TV. It was on CBS Sports Network at 9 p.m. Not sure why it was on TV, but it was. Number one, G.G. Jackson is a fraud. Number two, those two guards on fucking George Washington are incredible. Absolutely incredible. Brendan Adams tweaked. He was unbelievable. It was an awesome game. And the people around me at the game were like, what is going on? Like, we haven't seen this. And it was like a bunch of geezers too. It was like all old people in my section. But they did have a nice little student section across from me. You could probably see some of the videos. They were making some noise. Yeah. But the people around us were like, not even George W. could blow this lead. Like they were up like 30 points early. It was incredible. It was the freest bet of all time.
Yeah.
Those don't grow on trees.
Yeah.
Absolutely impeccable game. And we've got a shorter card today, and that ain't no problem. Shorter card today in CBB gives me some more time to dive into them. But we're running it back. Quality over quantity. Hit 7 college basketball bets in a row, 9 of the last 10. Yesterday, we had one hell of a day on here. We have to toot our own horns, or else you guys don't know how we did. We didn't lose a bet yesterday. Gonna leave it at that. Didn't lose a bet yesterday between the two of us. Gonna leave it at that. Not gonna talk about it anymore. Yesterday was yesterday. Today is today. It's time to cut the shit and get to work. Okay? We've got an hour and a half to find winners, plain and simple. Let's fucking get after it.
Yeah.
Let's fucking get after it. Does Study Hall Sharp go there or live near you? Yeah, he lives in DC. I think his mom works there or some shit. And I live right by their tip. So I'm looking like the Geico lizard. Sure. Sure. But yeah, a couple things from yesterday. college football playoff getting expanded to 12
Yeah.
teams. Thumbs
Yeah.
up, thumbs down. What are you thinking?
I mean, it's a big thumbs up for me
Yeah.
as a, I mean, I like my team is on the brink of getting in it now, but like on the usual basis, they're kind of hanging around whenever they're good, kind of that back end of that 12. So I'm all for it. I love seeing new teams as a part of it. It sucks. I mean, we're probably going to get some very uneven matchups, but I mean, it's just more entertainment for the sport. And like it's football. I get it. It's not like it's March Madness, but anything can happen to these games, and we're gonna start seeing some madness. So I love it.
Give me the 12 games. Give me 100 games.
Yeah.
Anyone who's like sitting there and trying to like seem smarter than the rest of the people and be like, these kids are going to get hurt in this extra game, or these kids aren't even getting paid for this shit. Now they're playing. These kids get paid plenty. These kids have been getting paid plenty. Okay. Talk to anyone who played football at a fucking school. These kids have been getting paid. Okay. And it's a couple extra games. These guys are fucking gladiators. They play football. They destroy each other every play.
This too.
These guys are built different.
I love that. I love how
no way
on campus. If that is the case, so
is that true?
I can't confirm, but if the first round's on, I would assume so because I assume they can't do however many bowl games.
SVP threw the bracket up last night, I think, and a couple buys. I didn't see anything about where they're playing the games, but that would be sick.
That would be awesome.
That'd be cool. But yeah, super excited for home stretch here, college football playoff. Big game on Saturday. Super stoked. Flying down tomorrow. Really excited to watch that game with the squad.
Oh yeah, only top 10 matchup in the championship game this weekend.
Okay, best game of the day, huh?
Yeah, that's why game day will be there too.
Pissed it was at noon though.
Yeah,
11
a.m. games are not fun.
But 11 a.m. is when it's at.
Here it is. Yeah.
Brutal. Okay. It's gonna be awesome though. It's gonna be awesome. Horizon League and the MAAC, they kick off today in college basketball. And there's also some good games between some decent teams as well today. We're gonna go over that. We're gonna go over Thursday night football. I think there's an NBA game, Jovan. Maybe we'll talk about it for 20 seconds and go over the ice because you've been sharp as heck on there as well. Smacking that Blackhawks play last night. Good shit.
So sweaty.
Yeah. So let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving. Yeah, the Mount plays today. Yes, sir. They play St. Peter's in their first MAC game ever. Transferred over from the NEC. These fucking conferences are hilarious. But yes, the Mount does play today. The Mount is only Mount's only getting three points to St. Peter's, who looks pretty good. I wouldn't hate a play on the Mount.
I wouldn't be against it. I mean, the Mount has not looked good whatsoever. And I'm not going to come and say St. Peter's has looked like world beaters, but they've certainly looked better than the Mount. So
they look good, yeah.
Seeing 3.5 at home seems a little short.
Agreed. I don't know how the books, factor in conference shit. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe they're putting respect on the NEC. I don't know why they would. I think the MAC is probably a speck better than the NEC. I mean, now that Bryant left too, the NEC is kind of dead.
Yeah.
So I don't even know. I don't know. I'm rooting for the Mounts. Grew up rooting for this team. My parents went there. So yeah, and like our guy Kevin said, nobody's betting on the Mount, and this line hasn't really moved. If anything, it's moved from +3.5 to +3.
Yeah.
Shout out the Mount. But yeah, we've got some shitty conference games. We've got some goods. Normal college basketball games like Creighton and Texas we're going to talk about as well. We've got plenty of shit to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Where do you want to start?
We can start that game. I'm down to start that game because that's,
all right.
I'd say, pretty easily the best game of the day. Can't really argue that one. But this is a big number for Texas. And, me personally, I don't want to say Creighton's overrated because I don't think so, but I don't think I view them as high as everybody else, and probably yourself included, just yet. I think they still have a little bit of time to kind of polish themselves off as a team. In Texas, I guess it's kind of the same thing with them, but it's been a lot because of their shooting, which I need to see a bigger sample size of how that plays out, like in the course of a season, because they've shot the ball really well. So it feels like a really big number at 6.5, and it's been kind of staying put there. So That would probably be the side I would go on. There's also some interesting stuff, like talking about like the basketball aspect of it. Like Fran Fraschilla has been pretty vocal, and I think I saw him tweet about it again today. Like the way that Creighton defends ball handlers, they get up on top of the screens, make you try and shoot over the big man and the mid range, which Texas is really really good at. And the difference between a lot of these teams and a lot of these ball handlers and point guards that have struggled against that is they're not very composed ball handlers and point guards, which Texas has Marcus Carr. They have a lot of different guys who can run that offense comfortably. So if they do that and there's Texas just shooting over top, making every single shot again, that they're going to do that. They might move to a zone, which is going to open Dylan Mitchell for lob threats again, which he's done time and time again. Feels like a dangerously high number for Texas for a reason.
Okay. Texas tallest player, 6'9". Creighton's leading scorer is 7'1", and they have 5 guys averaging 10 points a game.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Those things are all true. Those are all true statements. Yes. Yeah. Dilla Locks. Appreciate those facts. We can barely hear him. Are you talking about me? Who are you talking about? Am I a little quiet?
Hope I'm not.
Oh. Let us know if you guys can hear us okay. All right. Texas Lane, this number is very telling. King Dre, I don't disagree at all. There is a little bit of coin on Texas, a little bit more than Creighton. I was a little surprised to see that. I thought Creighton would be a public dog. But it's nothing that's really concerning me or scaring me off of Texas yet. Yeah. Although I will say on VSiN, they got that little up arrow for bet percentage for Texas, which that's not ideal. I want that little up arrow to go away because that means that there's more bets coming in on them right now. But not stressing out yet. Would love to see that line move to 7. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty damn cool. Yeah, that'd be huge. So let's stay posted on this. But yeah, I lean Texas here as well. Everyone loves Creighton. Everyone thinks Texas is a fraudulent basketball school. I think the pieces they brought in this season seem to be working out and meshing significantly better than last year. Last year was just an unorganized chaos of a bunch of really good players. It just didn't work. And it seems like the guys they brought in this year, they're looking a little better. And we know Carr is a bucket as well. So give me Texas or no bet in that game. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. What about Oakland? What about Oakland getting 4.5 points, sitting at 2-6? This team hasn't covered a game all season. And hey, I remember betting on Oakland last year in sharp spots and them not coming through ever, too. This team, man.
They're bad.
This team is bad. I don't know why the books respect this team. I really don't get it. But they're doing it again. They're playing a Cleveland State team that's been to the tournament in recent years. This team has won 4 games in a row. This team is coming off an outright win as an underdog to Western Michigan by 22 points. How about that for some quick math? So they're coming off a huge outright win. Oakland hasn't won, in 2 weeks since barely beating a shit Eastern Michigan team. It's been really bad. Bad. We're seeing Oakland's get I want to pull up the splits, make sure they haven't changed. They're getting, around 40% of bets and handle. And that line's moved from +5.5 to +4.5. Are you betting sharp Oakland again? Are you ready to lose more coins on this team? Or are you just going to stay away and bet some real games?
I mean, I will say the line movement is keeping me kind of in the neighborhood of considering it. But the one thing, it's like the fact they have been in a lot of sharp spots this year and have yet to cover a game, like just looking at a lot of these lines, they seem very, very short, like in theory, if you look at them. I mean, the Eastern Michigan line where they're 3.5-point favorites after what Eastern Michigan looked like against Michigan, and they didn't cover that game on the road against Long Beach, or maybe that was a neutral site game, 3-point dog, didn't cover. Even like going further back, I mean, against Toledo, they're only laying 13.5, got blown out, gave up 112 points. And there's a lot of different things. So it's pointing to me that this is like just a team that's generally getting way too much respect, and maybe they haven't figured it out yet. So I'm not running to this exactly.
Okay. I'm with you on that. Let's see if this gets down to 4.
Yeah, keep moving, then it's definitely gonna keep my eye on it for sure.
Okay. Jeff Rosa is saying, what we probably should do, and that's just stay away from this poverty team. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not wrong. All right. Let's see what else we got. I don't know why these games keep showing me the games from yesterday. Yesterday's over.
Yeah, yesterday's done.
Yesterday's over.
Somebody did mention it in chat though, and it is a very interesting line. Is that Denver game? Which I believe it's. I don't know if it opened super high or it opened at kind of this number of 5.5, 4.5, and then it got up, and now it's coming way back down. But man, this Houston Baptist, or I guess they're Houston Christian now, whatever. They're so bad.
Mm-hmm.
They have gotten destroyed by every opponent. They play absolutely no defense. And Darius Lee, rest in peace. He's not a part of this team anymore. But that was pretty much the whole production of their team on both sides of the ball. And they have absolutely nothing. They're a dead team. I have no idea why this line is sitting where it is against a Denver team that's been pretty solid. I mean, it's not like going to act like they've played great teams, but I mean, they've played their last game was against UNO, who's also a member of that conference and is miles better than Houston Christian. So it's definitely telling that this line is starting to come down quite a bit. Am I willing to back this team as bad as they are if there's not an additional kind of move down? I don't know, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of different opening numbers on a bunch of different books, but relatively speaking, it opened up plus 4.5 ish, and
yeah, I mean it was up to, I saw 7 at a point.
Yeah, it touched 6, it touched 7 on a couple books. Now it's coming back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a weird line.
Super
Can't sugarcoat it. Can't sugarcoat it.
And the splits, probably,
I was about to say,
there's probably a couple bets on this game, but they're very lopsided.
Let's see, the 3 people that bet this game,
79% of bets on Denver and 76% of the money on Houston.
Oh, yeah, that's something.
It's something. It's probably, a volume thing, but definitely interesting.
I mean, this Denver team's on fire, man.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing really good, scratching out some wins against teams that, I mean, aren't great, but certainly have been better than them and have comparable talent. So it's interesting.
I mean, Houston Christian just lost by 35, 36.
Yeah, I mean, they're bad.
All right, let's take them. I'm in.
That's all I had to say.
Okay. How about, give me a second. I'm marking these notes down. What about the Norse? You want to take a stab at the Norse today against Youngstown State, who's been overperforming a little bit?
I could be convinced. I think the line is certainly a little weird. This is another case, though, of a team in the Norse that generally gets a little bit of line respect.
They do.
So it's not one where like I've never seen any type of respect for this team. So it's really super crazy. But this Youngstown team has been really, really good. Definitely haven't performed up to the standards of what Northern Kentucky's done, especially schedule wise, other than the Notre Dame game that they went into South Bend and covered. But this is a team who's been overperforming. So the line is a little weird. I'd be willing to give it a shot.
How about them Irish?
How about them coming out and absolutely smacking?
2 rules I live by in life. I told this on Trent's stream yesterday. Never buy meats on sale. Never, ever buy discounted meats at the grocery store. That shit's nasty as hell. You're going to get home. That shit's going to be brown as fucking gross. Number 2, never fade Mike Bragg in South Bend. If you live by those 2 rules, you're off to a great start, okay? Mike Bragg at home wins.
It just does.
The dude's a winner. And I'm telling you, I wasn't fucking around, man. Like that, he's been prepping for this game, guarantee you, for the last couple weeks.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't Notre Dame versus Michigan State. That was Mike Bragg versus Tom Izzo. And that was an absolute Mike Bragg masterclass. It also helped that Michigan State looked like shit.
Yeah.
That helped too.
Bad. Very bad.
That helped too.
Mike Ryan, still him.
Oh, man. Yeah, Michigan State just not that good, King Dry. They Played some good ball in the beginning of the season. I forget the name of their big center, but he's really fucking good. Why can't I remember his name? If I see his name, I'll know who it is. Hold on.
I literally always mix him up with Adama Sissoko. That's why.
Soko. Yep. Yeah. That dude's a fucking menace.
Yes.
That dude is ginormous and really good. And Tyson Walker, after his miracle performance at the end of last season, he's having a pretty good year too, but he needs to pick it up a little bit. The rest of that team.
I know what Hogard does for that team, just in general playmaking. But I don't see them doing anything consistently unless he is consistently an aggressive, go get a bucket type guy, like Terrence Shannon has been with Illinois. Because he puts up points, but he's not like that guy every time down the floor that's going to threaten to just go get a bucket. So it's not really hasn't been his game, but I know he has that potential. So that's what I want from that team. That's what I want from him. And if they can figure that out, I think they'll be good down the line.
Okay. Well, circling back to the Norse. Look, this team was projected to win their conference preseason. That sketches me out a little bit. Like you said, for some reason, even last year too, this Norse team gets respect. I feel like this Norse team always has studs on their team, and it just never works. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like they get a bunch of good players, and they're not really a good team. It sounds cheesy to call it like that, but they were stacked last year too, and they kind of sucked until the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then they really heated up. And then this season, they've gotten off to a really slow start after being projected to win their conference. So, if you take bets like Northern Kentucky tonight, if you take bets like that every single time, you're going to be up money long term. I promise. So I'm probably going to play it. But there's just something about this Norse team that sketches me.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a little weird.
Okay, how about Delaware laying 5-1 Cornell? I like this Delaware team. I like their coach. They got hot at the end of last year, really hot. I know this team has burned me this season a good amount. They burned you too. Remember Duke? We tried to get sharp and take them first half or take them full game, and they absolutely folded.
Yep.
I don't know, but them laying 5 is some serious respect.
Yeah, it's had a pretty solid move. I think people were saying it in chat too. It's like 3 points in just this morning alone in the last couple hours. So there's something going on there that kind of scares me. Like there's a possible injury situation or one of those just players that are mysteriously going to be missing.
Right.
So I don't know if I want to get involved in that. Plus, just even if that's not the case, feels like it might be a time where you're a little too late to the party and ends up middling a little bit.
Okay. That sucks. Maybe there's an injury. I don't know. Maybe they just win by 20, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
But that game interests me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It does. I want to see how that moves.
Okay. You taking anything in Detroit versus the Mastodons?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one.
Okay.
With all due respect.
All right. 2 solid teams. Making sure I'm not missing any of these fucking shitty games that are popping up late. They need to get their fucking lines out earlier. This is bullshit, man.
I know.
Back in my day, the lines came out the day before.
Back in my day.
Okay. There's got to be more.
I mean, if we're just talking like that.
Oh, no. Jovan.
Let's hear it.
Utah back to 7?
Yeah. It's just kind of I think half of them, I assume you're looking on Action Network, right? Because, just half of them, some of them are hanging 7. It's really only, $2? All the rest of them are hanging 6.5 still.
I'm looking at all the books.
Yeah.
Right now. Most of them are still 6.5.
Yeah.
Can I get 7 on points bets though? Is this true? I'm not gonna lie to you. I already put $500 on plus 6.5. Oops. So that's been deployed. But if I can somehow get 7 here, I'm obviously going to cash out and bet this.
You can get 7.5 on FanDuel.
No way.
Yeah.
Dudes, what do they know?
Streets are saying. I think they were always there.
Oh.
They were like the one.
Okay. Damn, bro, what the heck?
We can talk about that game while we're here.
Yeah, talk about it while I get this lock in because I can't relax until I do.
Yeah, I mean that one's weird because I mean I talked about this yesterday. I wasn't expecting it to come so soon. Not saying that it's kind of a certainty that's going to happen, but I do think that Arizona and a lot of these Pac-12 teams are going to struggle in a couple of these road games, but especially Arizona because they're a team like we know how they play. They push tempo. They can't really defend. Don't defend. So that doesn't always travel. There's always a lot of slip-up games with teams that play like that when they go on the road to these places, especially against Utah. Because this is definitely a mismatch of styles. Because Utah likes to play slow tempo. They can't really score with Arizona or with anybody. I mean, they couldn't even score with Mississippi State. So it's really weird, especially with the total being as high as it is. It's looking like it's going to be a classic Arizona game, right? So why would the spread be this close? And why would it be 7.5, 6.5? It doesn't really make any sense. Especially being like this is a Utah team who was 6.5-point underdogs to Mississippi State, a team who kind of plays into their style and can't score. So like they covered that game. That was a closer game, but this seems just really, really weird. Like a lot of these Pac-12 games, these opening games do today, which is why we'll be getting into some of those soon, but this one is weird.
Okay. I could not agree more. I officially cashed out plus 6.5 and just got plus 7. This is why you line shop. This is why you watch lines. This is why you bet on legal books if they're available to you. Yeah. What's going on in chat? Listen, I'm going to say this again in chat. Hammered me last time about Utah playing Sam Houston and everyone on Utah. And I told chat my best friend is the DOB at Utah and told me to not take us. I can't read all that. It's moving. I'm not fucking reading that whole paragraph. Somebody summarize that. Jesus
he's just
Christ.
saying Utah has no chance, pretty much.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, lock in plus 7.
Sam Houston is pretty comparable to Arizona. That's what I gathered from that.
Okay. Yeah. And did you mention how the lines you told me earlier today, and I was probably locking in my bet. You probably did bring it up, but I want to make sure that people heard this. Did you bring up that they're the same number they were against who was
it? Mississippi State. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, change of location there. It's flipped, but it's still an interesting number to be at, whether it's 6.5, whether it's 7.5 on the road at home, because Mississippi State is not Arizona. So I mean, give me a couple points to come back, play at home. What do you want to give? 9.5? That's still incredibly short.
Yeah.
For a team like that. So
yeah. Utah sucks. I don't know why they're plus 7. I don't know how they're going to cover, but I'll tell you right now, they're gonna figure it out. The books know they're smarter than us. Trust. Okay. When the books put a weird line there, let them do the work for you. Okay. And just take it and trust and bet responsibly. Okay. Jeff's saying Texas is my POD. Beautiful matchup. And the line being large makes me feel even better. Yeah, Jeff, I like Texas as well.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Capwise approves of NKU. Sure. Good. Mississippi State beat Marquette, who just steamed Baylor. So in the AP poll on Monday, expect Mississippi State to be number 1, Jovan.
Yeah, they'll be number 1.
All right.
It's also you can't score though, which is the problem. Like it's such a difference because they're playing Mississippi State. It's not just that Mississippi State isn't Arizona, but Mississippi State's a team that they have comparable play styles to Utah. They're going to play slow. They're going to play physical. So in that game, that theoretically should be a better matchup of style. Now they're playing an Arizona team who's the complete opposite and much better at it. So that's kind of what plays into it more than them just being not that great. Which in reality, like cool, they beat Marquette, but they can't score. They're not that good. Their schedule has been absolutely atrocious outside of that game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see who they are come SEC tournament, or not tournament, but SEC play time.
Okay. Could not agree more. Could not agree more. We didn't talk about OK State and UConn.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about how UConn may be the biggest overperformer, maybe the most impressive team that we didn't expect to be this good, 8 games in the season. Hence why they're 7-1 ATS. Looks like they're playing better than the books expected too.
Yeah.
They're beating the books. They're playing a shit Oklahoma State team that has a big name. This team sucks, man. This team sucks. They can't score. They really can't.
Yeah.
Why are they only getting 8.5 points? Is this, is this the Purdue game 2.0 from last night where Florida State hung around and somehow covered, even though it was, never really that close?
Yeah.
Is it like that?
And shout out, before we talk about that, shout out to Jen for the sub bangs. That one's on Morocco. It's funny. Shout out Morocco.
Let's go.
But this one's super weird, especially with the move. That it was quick too. It went 10.5 to 8.5.
Yep.
Pretty quick, which is weird. It especially does not make sense. And I do kind of like what I've seen from Oklahoma State and their offense in these last couple of games, which is, granted, they're playing Prairie View A&M and a couple terrible teams, but early in the season and with the same squad relatively that they've had for the last couple of seasons, they struggle against pretty much any team you put out there. So they've been scoring a little bit, which is good. And Musa Cisse has been better in the paint too, because that's a part where they struggle. Like, their big men, they kind of have the same problem that Baylor has, but it's not as bad with their big men not being able to give them production. They've started to do that a little bit. So in a game with Sonogo and a lot of those big dudes in the paint that are going to really challenge them, I like that they're trending in the right direction. It gives me a little hope. But I mean, this line, I'm going to have to go with Oak State because it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. As well as UConn's played, I love UConn. I love what they brought to the table. In what world are they 8.5 points better only than Oklahoma State, especially after they just beat Iowa State by 20, which is, they're far more talented than Oklahoma State in that conference.
Oh, this one's going to suck.
It's going to suck. This is a hold your nose one for sure.
Is this a first half, get in, get out, and hope that, maybe OK State, comes out hot and UConn, gets caught sleeping? Spots like this are where I like to give the first half a look because, being on the roads, I feel like UConn, I could see UConn being down by 2 at half like it was yesterday in this spot. And then they rah-rah and the better coach gets the boys riled up and the crowd gets going. And next thing you know, UConn's up 10, with 2 minutes left. So,
yeah.
What are your thoughts? Honestly, just what are your thoughts on first half betting in college basketball in general? Because we never really talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I try to dabble in it, but it really gets in my head, in spots like this. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think with first half, I wouldn't say like I do it too much, but I try to do it when it makes sense as far as trends with teams. And Oklahoma State's not a bad one to do because they've had a lot of second halves, even this year, but like just traditionally, they've had a lot of second halves where they struggle to shoot, they don't score, they go on those long droughts. It's typical. And for a team who can't really score on a consistent basis yet, I would like to say that that's going to happen in the second half more so than the first half, and we've seen it play out a couple times. So like in situations like this, I'm not against it. I think it's a pretty decent spot for it, especially with a spread, where what I haven't even looked at the first half number, but I can only assume it's 4.5, 5.
Dude, it's lower than I thought. It's 4, 3.5.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Which is another reason why I'm like, that's weird. Usually they cut it in half and add a half. They round up for the dog.
That is very interesting. But I mean, I will say I'm getting less and less scared of Oklahoma State just for anything the more that I read the chat, to be real with you. So
okay, maybe we just don't overthink it and we just bet the spread.
It's giving me Notre Dame chat vibes from yesterday.
I mean, you guys acted like when we said we're betting on Notre Dame, you guys acted like we freaking murdered your families when we brought up we're going to take Notre Dame. Grow the heck up and trust the process, ladies and gents.
Which, to be fair, it wasn't in here. I know we have a little different of a crowd. It was a certain stream when you're pitching it in there, but
that is true.
It was definitely it made me throw a couple extra units. Not gonna lie.
Sure.
So This is
Sure.
it's looking like the same, kind of the same.
Yeah, and I might have been tripping about the first half. I'm seeing 4.5 and 5s.
Okay, well that's fine.
That makes more sense.
That's
Okay.
normal.
Yep. That's literally exactly where it should be.
Yeah.
All right. God, Kansas State, man. Kansas State yesterday, undefeated team. You know, as an underdog against a shitty Butler team, they got to win, right? They're undefeated. They haven't lost yet.
Yeah.
Sure. I
And
will
then
say I'm pretty pissed that Keontae Johnson, he absolutely twigged.
Yeah, he went off.
He absolutely twigged.
Absolutely went off.
And I had his under, which is beat, but you move on.
You do. You live
You
and
move on.
learn. Honestly, I've noticed like a lot of the unders that we've been taking, it's like on the team that we bet on, that we love. We take guys like that, it works. Like more than the
Yeah.
others. Like we're talking about like Jaden Taylor took out under that hit.
That was free.
Padula that one game, which VT won by 30. Those have been absolutely smacking. Like, granted, you've been hitting like a lot of yourself. It's not like shit's not hidden, but a lot of those have been the ones that I've been paying attention to.
100%. Hey, nobody wants to take unders. Nobody wants to root for unders. That's why I'm going to be betting unders. We're taking unders. All right. Yeah. Fruity saying the state of Indiana is just unbeatable in basketball. Purdue, Indiana, Notre Dame, Butler, IUPUI, all dynasties.
Yeah. Oh, every single one.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, Indiana's, it's where basketball started. They've always been nice. Big win for Indiana last night. I want to talk about some takeaways that we've seen this week in college basketball. A couple things we've noticed, a couple things that are going, under the radar that we think we should bring up and talk about. You're the Southland rep, so you want to kick us off here and get us started with the new king of the Southland?
Yeah, new king of the Southland. Yeah, I mean, Texas A&M Commerce is good. Yeah, they're a legitimate good team. It's kind of giving me, obviously they're not as good as like a Bellarmine, but it's giving me flashbacks of that from when they won the ASUN, couldn't compete in the tournament because it was their little transition year. So I mean, they look good. I mean, it's not to say they've gone out there and beat the Zags or anybody like overly impressive, but for a team coming into their first D1 season, going to Hawaii last night and winning that game against a Hawaii team that's pretty solid, and especially in terms of the team they faced, that's no joke. They went to Air Force and beat them outright against that defense, which is definitely something you can write home about. They hung in games with SMU and even Northern Colorado, who's talented. They destroyed Eastern Kentucky on a neutral court. It's like they're putting together a little solid non-conference season, and for a year that I think that conference is a little more open than in past years, they can seriously make some noise, especially come tournament time. So this is a good team to watch out for, because due to the fact that it's their first D1 season, I think especially against some of those top teams like Nichols and like Texas A&M Corpus Christi in that conference, they're going to have some sizable lines that we can take advantage of. So I'll be looking forward to that.
That's good. Yeah, Nichols has been playing really well.
Yeah, Nichols looked great.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. Even if they go on and win their conference tournament, they're still not allowed to go to March Madness.
Which I'm not there yet with them, but they can make some noise for sure. I still think it's Nichols and Corpus Christi's to lose. There's so much veteran talent on that team. They're both our teams, but Commerce is sneaking up a little bit.
Yeah, who would have thought? Didn't even know this was a school until they went D1 this season. It's such a dumb rule, man.
I don't
penalizing these schools and these kids. It's like, don't you want, like, if you're the head, I don't even know who makes these decisions, but if you're the head of D1 basketball, okay, and these schools, I guess, a couple every year, a school or two maybe, or maybe some years there's none, but like every, once in a while there's a school that drops out of D1, right? We saw it with, there's a shitty team this year that just announced that they're moving down to D2 or D3, and their coach quit the day before the season started. Do you remember what team that is? I was talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I forgot which team that was. Somebody knows it. Somebody knows in the chat. I know exactly.
Somebody will come correct. Hartford.
There you go.
Sure.
Yep.
Attaboy, J Champ. you'd think that these schools coming in to replace the schools like Hartford, like they're doing D1 basketball, like a good, they're doing them a service. They're helping them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird that they penalize them, not being able to go to the tournament if they win their conference for the first couple of years. Like, I would love to hear the reason of the rule. I would. And yes, chat, thank you. It is Hartford. We appreciate it. And yes, G Unit does not bet on every single line on that spreadsheet. That's just his capping, guys. So he's not betting on all of those games. I have no idea what he's even betting on. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, sidebar to that. Do people realize how difficult it is to do that? To cap a side in total on every single game? Like, let's
every
relax.
single college basketball game. The guy doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't sleep.
Whether you bet on each one or not, it's absolutely insanely hard to do. I mean, we pick out, what, 10, 15 games to talk about, which is hard enough to do. Can't even imagine the full slate.
Yeah. I mean, that's why he works at Bisson and has his own show there.
Yeah.
He's made it.
That's what he does.
Yeah. So let's cut my guy G Unit some slack. Okay. Everyone goes through winning streaks. Everyone goes through losing streaks. All right. Don't act like you guys in chat have never gone through a losing streak. That's why you're in here listening. If you hit all your bets, you wouldn't be in here. Grow up. Yeah, Fruity, like, it's nuts, dude.
It's crazy.
It's absolutely nuts. It's absolutely nuts. All right. Well, yeah. I also wanted to shout out DeMarcus Demonia, the best player on Texas A&M Commerce. That kid's really fucking good, and he's big. He's like 6'7". He can dribble. He's nice. So shout out to him. He's carrying that team. We might have a new king in the Southland.
Yeah,
kid's averaging 16 and 5 a game, so he's balling.
Yeah, got a lot of stars out now. You got St. Hilaire from New Orleans gone. His running mate Troy Green gone. Gordon gone from Nichols. So, I mean, somebody's got to do it.
Someone's got to step up. Someone's got to step up. It's anyone's game. It's anyone's year in the Southland this season. Okay. I'm excited to see them start playing against each other and scoring a bazillion points and not playing any defense. Love watching it.
It'll be fun, especially McNeese.
Sure.
McNeese. They're like my favorite team to do it, to take the overs with, just because they're so athletic at every position. They don't really try, and like this year, it looks like it's going to be more of the same. Their defense is just, and they've actually had like a really tough conference schedule or non-conference schedule, so cut them some slack, but they're going to give up so many points.
Okay. Somebody in chat saying he's got a free prop. Tristan Newton points is at 10.5. Extremely free. What do you like about it, Jack? Let me know, bro. I'm down a tail. Lord J, Utah or Arizona? Give me the Utes, obviously. Obviously. But all right. Let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving. Another takeaway from college basketball this season. I'll go to your TCU Horned Frogs. Are they back?
Oh, yeah, they're back.
Oh, yeah, they're back.
Oh, yeah, they're back.
Oh, yeah, they're back.
It's not even just me like
great last night.
Yeah, it's not even me trying to say that. And like, let's get it off the table. Like, Providence is piss poor, to be real with you. They're bad. I mean, sorry, Mikey Overs. But
I mean, you know how happy that makes me to hear that?
I mean, they're just bad, but I will say, like, TCU, their defense showed up, and like just overall, like the team. Like, I'll say this because I know some of these guys. I've been on campus here. After last year and the ending to that, they got very popular. They got real cocky. They're out doing, bar nights every single night, even the start of this year. They lost Northwestern State. That was over. That was ended. It's all business now, and you can tell the difference. So they're a different team. Obviously, Damian Ball came back last night, which that's huge because TCU plays really slow. Just because that's kind of their game, but they like to pick up the pace when they can. And now that they have Miles and Ball, it's kind of two point guards who can push the pace and go get a bucket. So that's a huge difference for that team. And yeah, they're swimming in piss. So I'm just saying these the beginning of conference play, and I guess like as the non-con season comes, you're going to see why TCU was ranked in preseason pretty high.
Yeah. I mean, they were ranked like 10.
Yeah, 5th or what? 14, 15 to open the year. So you'll see why. And I mean, there's a couple Big 12 teams that are kind of going the opposite way. So they got a chance
All
to
right.
do some things.
Okay. Plenty of games left. Haven't even gotten into conference play left or yet. TCU's back. Rooting for him.
You know who's not? The Tar Heels.
Yeah, and you know what's really beat?
What is?
They've lost 3 games in a row, and the defending national champion has never lost more than 3 games in a row ever.
No chance they do it when they go to Blacksburg, right?
Yeah, well, that's the part that's beat, Jovan, is that they're going to come to Blacksburg and win this weekend because, I mean, look, you called it. I'll give you full credit. As I was slurping UNC before the season started, you were saying not so fast, like Lee Corso. And you were saying, hey, this team is not really even that good. They just got hot as fuck at the end of the season and were on a roll and had serious swag and just were unbeatable and kept winning. But we remember how average UNC was, the middle of through last season. They were like they were like a little bit above average. They were okay. And they just absolutely took off. So it's not really shocking to, see them get off to another slow start. I feel like Caleb Love is absolutely forcing it. I mean, you're telling me their game plan, what they've been working on in practice and in film and prepping for games is to have Caleb Love shoot the ball 30 times a game. That's the plan.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's tough. And I think there's it's not even that I think they're bad necessarily. It's just that I think that they're the same team from the regular season last year. Like they had a great run. Don't want to take anything away from that, but they weren't the number one team. They're not the number one team. They're a team with a lot of talent, and they're just it is what it is. They're like a fringe top 25 team for me. So I mean, not to show any disrespect to like Indiana or even like Portland. Some of the teams they've played have looked really good, but they're a good team. Not great. Caleb Love is really just too inconsistent as a scorer. There's a lot of guys like really the rest of that team. Like Baycott hasn't been fantastic for that team to be really, really good. He needs to be dominant. Pete Nance, like he's bad, but it's like they don't have a role like carved out for him to stick.
He'll just like start off. He'll like go like 1 for 3 in the first 10 minutes, and then he won't play until like the last 5 minutes of the game. I'm like,
that's the thing. It's like there's too much like I don't want to say it's a coaching issue, but it's like there's a lot of things going on with the personnel of that team too. That's the issue.
I mean, dude, like every player is different, and sometimes you bring in a guy and he fits like a glove into the team, and they're boys and they match perfectly. And sometimes it does not work great. And whether it's the chemistry on the court, whether it's off the court, these kids are people. These kids all think that they're, the greatest thing on earth, right?
Yeah.
So you get a star Pete Nance coming in. I don't know the guy. He's probably a great kid. Maybe he's not. I don't know. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but like you don't know what's going on in the back. All you know is that, he was dropping 20 points at Northwestern a game pretty much, and he's come over here and he looks like a freaking role player. It doesn't make any sense.
It's strange.
So they need to figure that out. Trace Jackson Davis, who he's a good, forward, I guess. He's small. Like I really just don't think he's that good, although he looked pretty good last night. I mean, he was bitching around Bacot, so that can't happen. One of the best players in the country last year, right? Bacot, everyone's slurping this guy. He comes back to college this season. He should be one of the best players in college, right? I mean, he looked like shit like he does not look good. He does not look good. They're not giving him the ball with enough time to make plays. They're not feeding him as much. They're feeding him late in the shot clock. He's not really getting on the post as much. So that's the Kentucky problem. Yeah, every year they have crazy talent, but every year everyone thinks of LeBron James, and they're not a real good fucking team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this, man, I don't think, myself included, didn't realize how big of a loss that Brady Manick was going to be for this team. I mean, it's really shown itself. They can't stretch the floor the same. I think they kind of, like between their stretch bigs, they want like, I'm dying.
Right.
They want like Pete Nance to do like a little bit of what Brady Manick did, at least on the inside, and fill it with some of the bench production on the outside. It's just nothing's really working. So Like, do they have the talent to kind of figure it out and probably get a little better as the season progresses and you're in ACC play against, I don't want to say down ACC, but like the bottom of that league is bad. So they have their opportunity. So they'll get better. Maybe they get the guns to go on another run if they get hot at the right time. But like right now, they're just average.
Yeah. Look, I would not be shocked to see them tweak again at the second half of the season like they did last year. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Bengals beat the Chiefs this week and go on a crazy second half run too. That's probably my POD this weekend. Randomly throwing that in there. I don't even know why I brought that up, but like sometimes teams play better in the second half of the season. Sometimes teams play better in the first half. Like I don't really know how to explain it. So it wouldn't shock me if this team starts out slow again and gets going in the second half. I mean, on paper, they have everything. On paper, they have the big man. On paper, they have this great younger coach who's taken over for Roy Williams and is, not missed a beat.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit up here and roast Hubert Davis, but I'm also not going to sit up here and act like he's, Roy Williams 2.0. Let's watch how this team performs for a couple of years. All right.
Yeah.
But I was wrong about Brady Manick. I thought Pete Nance coming in to replace him they'd be better. I thought they'd be better. I was wrong. Brady Manick was the fucking glue guy of that team. He was the heart and soul of that team. And Pete Nance comes in and he can't hit a bucket. And they don't really have that glue guy. They don't have the heart, right? They have the big man. They have the good point guard, right? They have the good defender, Leaky Black, who's been working on his three-pointer, by the way. He's getting better. By the way, Leaky Black is going to be an NBA player, and he's going to be one of the best defenders in the NBA for the next 10 years. Watch. If he can keep getting better at that three, like he is this season already, I can already tell he's way more confident and better. He's shooting better already. Yeah. He's going to be one of the best 3-and-D guys in the NBA. So you're going to be like, where the fuck did this guy come from when you see him in the NBA in 5 years? And somebody's going to be like, he was on that UNC team, the one that went to the title. And you're going to be like, what? And you're going to look at his stats. He averaged 2 points a game. You're going to be like, how did this even happen? You heard it here first. And he has a sick name. Yeah. Leaky Black. Like, what even is that? I know Leaky's a nickname.
Yeah.
But
sus.
He's really good. He's really good.
Yes.
Sus. But they have all the pieces on paper, man. And I'm really fucking pissed that they're coming to Blacksburg this weekend because they're probably going to get right.
I mean, I would not be scared of that team right now, to be honest with you.
Wouldn't be scared of Virginia Tech right now either, brother.
I know. It's a battle of
holy smokes.
Struggling mid at the moment.
Holy smokes. All right. Well, you want to talk about St. Mary's and how they are extremely overhyped every season and they just are kind of mid?
Yeah. I mean, this is like this.
Get it, man.
I don't want to say the New Mexico game because it's been a lot of the games, but like this is a kind of a microcosm of what their personnel has lacked, for I don't know, lack of a better term. It's like the slightest bit of athleticism on the wing, and they can't do much, which is why a lot of these teams they just can't hang with come tournament time. And like Jamal Mashburn and a lot of those other guys yesterday just tore them to shreds just because they beat them off the ball quite a few times, and that's going to continue. I mean, it's just what happens when you have the type of personnel they do. Like to be frank, their whole team looks like they could be cast in a High School Musical basketball team. So that's what it's going to be. And this year it's particularly bad because they can't defend. They can't really shoot the three on the perimeter. They can't do anything on the perimeter. So it's like that was their strength, and that's how they, hung with these teams that are a lot better in name than them. So like, are they going to be challenged in the WCC by anybody but Gonzaga and like maybe a San Fran? Probably not, but they're also not going to roll past these teams and be like that clear cut 2 or 3, So like, I think that what we're seeing in non-conference is pretty indicative of who this team is.
Could not agree more. You know what they're missing, man?
Who or what?
They're missing fucking God, why can't I remember this fucking kid's name either? They're missing that 30-year-old bald point guard, bro.
Tommy Kuhse.
Yeah, they're missing Kuz.
Yeah.
Tommy Kuz. Yeah, Kuhse, whatever. The 30-year-old dude who played there for 10 years.
Yeah.
They're missing him, man. because when times were tough last year and they needed a bucket, it was Coos.
Yeah.
And that guy also played crazy defense too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you go up, they can't defend. Like they give up a lot of threes, and like you think about like their Zags upset last year. Like I think that was last year. Who was on the perimeter locking up all of their guards? It was him. So like they don't have that identity anymore. So it's something completely different for this team. They're just not as good. It's plain and simple. And not to say New Mexico is bad, because New Mexico is certainly very talented.
They got back on track last night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they've been off track all season. I mean, they've looked fantastic.
Oh, I was talking about New Mexico State. My fault.
Yeah, they got back on track.
They got back on track. New Mexico's been good all year.
New Mexico's been mowing through a lot of these teams that they should. And they actually, I think they play New Mexico State this weekend. So that's going to be a great game. They got a couple decent games to finish non-con. But yeah, that team's good. Team's talented. Saw some people saying put some respect on them. They absolutely deserve it. But St. Mary's is also not the same St. Mary's we've seen for a couple of years.
No, I don't get the hype. It's another year, another mid St. Mary's team. I'm sorry, I don't understand the hype. I wish they were good too, because I went to St. Mary's high school, and like I would fuck with that if they were really cool. Right, I'd kind of root for them a little bit. Same name, they suck. I know Cap-wise, Nick, I know you like them. And hey, 2 weeks down the line, they'll probably be playing a lot better, and we'll be sitting here saying we were wrong. But right now, they blow.
I mean, I'll tell you what. Whatever number, I don't care if it's 25 we get for that game they play against Houston this weekend, I'm taking it. It could be whatever.
Damn, you're taking it. You don't give a hoot. Oh, there he is. Get that busted ass camera out of here.
Yeah, you're rocking with the JV camera again.
Bro, you think he took? Were you watching stream yesterday or no?
I popped in for a little bit. I was kind of watching in and out.
Do you think? How do I word this? What was it called? What did Trent call it again? It was the fucking George parlay was what it was. Did you hear him talking about the George parlay from yesterday?
I did.
It's smacked, dude. I know his bitch ass didn't take it. I know you didn't fucking take it, Trent.
I know he took
Georgetown covered. George Mason.
He took the Bozo package though. That little Bozo package smacked.
He did take the Krabby toothpaste. Yeah, he did.
Not that, but yeah, he did take that too. I was talking about his little. What was it? It was like Leafs, TCU, and the Lakers.
Okay, so he was hitting bets.
He was hitting bets. I mean, I'm pretty sure he took TCU too, so we got to see that live Providence piss stream. So that was fun.
I know, W game.
W game.
I guess line movement did not matter in that one. One bet.
Yeah. That was just a kind of a market adjustment.
Yeah,
that's why I wasn't really scared.
Okay,
but I wasn't running to it either.
All right, but yeah, we're gonna have to run back that George 3 pace if they ever play again. Georgetown covered, George Mason covered. We know George Washington covered. Holy fuck! Any other Georges out there that we're missing?
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah, Georgia champion.
Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia champion future. Just throw it in there.
Oh, damn it! Could get Georgia State involved, maybe too.
I mean, they're not playing any, or I guess college basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah.
All right. Any other takeaways from college basketball this week?
I mean, I won't go over stuff that I think we touched on yesterday, but I mean, Houston's them. Baylor is, I think a lot of people, they're like the team that is going through some of the same stuff as UNC, but not that bad. So like people aren't jumping ship yet. I'm jumping ship because I kind of saw this coming, but this is a team that's not as good. I mean, same with Texas Tech. Those are two Big 12 teams that are not going to have the same identity or be as good. So I'm glad as a TCU guy, because it's a lot of good news for us. But
yeah, that's good.
Big 12 is going to be as deep as ever, but probably not as good at the top.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance.
Also, I didn't shout them out, but shout out University of Maryland Eastern Shore for coming through last night.
Yeah, look at that.
We're 1-1 on University of Maryland Eastern Shore bets. 1-1. Okay.
I do not often just blindly add stuff to my card, but I definitely did that one. I just wanted to be perfect.
That line absolutely rigged.
Yeah, dog to fave, sure.
It smelled like shit.
Yeah, it did.
I bet it. I had to walk. I couldn't even look at it again. It smelled so bad.
Yeah. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about, Trent?
Butler money line. Sure. That was free, bro.
Free.
I mean, they tweaked. All right. One NBA game today. Dallas and Detroit. I don't like anything in it. Do you?
Yeah, it's not for me.
Okay.
Definitely not for me.
All right. Let's go to the ice real quick, though, before we do. If you guys are going to any games tonight, you're going to any games this weekend, you're looking where to buy your tickets, go over to SeatGeek, download the app. All right. Use promo code BOOKIT, $20 off your first purchase. No reason not to use it. Pretty solid app. Got good tickets. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. That's where I buy my tickets. That's where I bought my George Washington tickets, which were not expensive. So shout out SeatGeek for that. All right.
I hope not.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Shocker. All right.
Yeah.
Promo code BOOKIT. All right. Let's go to the ice. Let's go to the ice. Let's start making you do these, by the way. Keep laughing.
Yeah.
What do you like on the ice? Huh?
So there's a couple that are really testing me because like they kind of fit into the Blackhawks. I don't want to call it a system. That's super corny, but like the price ranges that I've been checking out because they're ugly ones that I don't even know if I can get myself to take. But this is that same little 200 to 240-ish range, and one of it falls into fading the Devils with the Predators, which I don't even know if I can get myself to do. I don't know if it's worth it at this point, but that's that price is also really starting to tick down quite a bit, which is super, super interesting with the Devils, who are greatest team alive. But I'll probably stay away from that one, but you can be sure that I'm keeping an eye on how that one plays out, at least on the puck line, because it's on the lower end of kind of that price range as well. Vanacek is in net too, as expected. So we'll be keeping my eye on that. The other one is the Flyers against the Lightning, which is that one piques my interest a little more because if we look at, obviously I watched a lot of Lightning games. They dominate the Flyers, but it's always in these crazy back and forth games that a lot of them they don't cover the puck line in. Always there's a lot of games that are like crazy 6-5 games, regardless of where the game's located, and they're hanging kind of squarely in the middle, sitting like 220, 225. So that's certainly an interesting one. Carter Hart has been playing pretty bad. He went through a bad stretch of a couple of games, and then he finally got it together against the Isles last game. He had a really nice game, so that one definitely piques my interest. But the one that's kind of not puck line system-ish that I do like is the Caps.
Oh, rock the red.
Yeah, the Caps are definitely catching my eye because I think like the Kraken have been fantastic, but I think the one part that everybody overlooks about this team is how much like they've been able to shade or just hide Martin Jones, which regardless if he's in net or not, that's just the thing of this team. He's been bad. He's just looking at a couple of these games, like if you look at his numbers even before these last couple stretch of games, his goals saved above expected were high. So he's making a lot of saves, making a lot of great saves. So that's not really going to last long term if you know who Martin Jones is. But looking at some of these games, he gave up 5 against the Sharks. He's just fortunate that they scored 8 goals. He gave up 4 against the Ducks in their anemic offense. Lucky they scored 5. And then that game the other day against the Kings, I don't know. I know Quick got pulled. I don't know if he got pulled, but that was a 9-8 game. He did give up all 8 of those goals. So like that.
Jones isn't playing, by the way.
Okay. Well, regardless, I'm saying like this is all going into the kind of overvaluing of the Kraken and how they've been during the stretch. Because their offense has been fantastic, but it's something that regardless of the goaltending and net, it's not going to be something that can last. So I think it's an overvaluing situation that we're going to see down the line. And the Caps have been playing better too, I would say. I don't want to say they've turned a corner, but they've started playing a lot more competitive hockey. That's what I would think. They've won what?
Well, Oshie's back. That's huge. They've been
Oshie's back. It's huge. They've won 3 of 4, which I usually don't like backing teams that are kind of in trend mode or whatever. But they're playing the Kraken, who are super popular always, especially at the short of a price. So it's definitely something that I'm keeping my eye on. I like the way that's starting to move. So it's going to be the Capitals for me.
Oh, I thought I put this on the screen.
That's definitely a first. That's
kind of scary.
I'd love to hear that.
It's good and scary.
Yeah.
What about Vancouver? You like them at all? Looks like the line's moved 15 cents towards them.
Yeah, that's just one where like I'm not a Panthers guy. I think a lot of people get caught into the what the Panthers have been able to do these last couple of years and how good they've been, but they're not playing great right now. So like if I were to set a line for this game, like obviously I'm not the biggest pure hockey brain, but I don't know how much bigger favorites you can make them realistically. So it's not one that's looking at me. I mean, some of the lines I guess that catch my eye outside of that, I mean, that's a big price for the Stars against the Ducks. And I know how bad the Ducks have been, how anemic their offense has been. The Stars offense has been great, especially that front line, but they're so dependent on that, like their top line with Robertson and all those guys. So like if that line is not, dropping all of their offensive production, there's a chance the Ducks could sneak a little plus 1.5 maybe. So that's a large price. And usually I would say it's pretty indicative of what to expect, but I think it's just a little overzealous kind of price.
Okay. A couple things. Number one, Beef Stewski in chats. That kid blocked me. I don't even know what video you're talking about. Would love to know. Love to know. Number two, how about the Penguins at home against Vegas?
Yeah.
You knew I was going to bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't hate it. The thing is, I would be a lot more inclined if Vegas was playing a little better as of recently, because like they're not. I'd say they fall into that category of like I really don't want to fade them because they've been one of the better teams in the league. They're not quite the Devils or how they've played recently. They're not quite the Bruins either, but they haven't been playing great lately. They lost to the Kraken, who Kraken have been good, but they lost the Kraken. They lost the Canucks at home. They've been kind of skating by a few teams. They also beat the Canucks, in a close game. Same with the Jackets with Line back, I believe. So it seems like they're trending downwards. I don't want to say who's willing to bet Vegas because I'm sure there's plenty of people out there. I haven't seen the splits, but it seems like they're definitely in a buy low spot, like our man Bryce is saying. So I'd be a little scared, a little hesitant.
Okay. Vegas is getting more bets. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. I mean, Pittsburgh's lost their last two. Vegas is 17-6, and the line flipped. So, well, no, the line didn't flip, actually. The line is moving towards Vegas, which is a bad sign for Pittsburgh. How about this? How about the over in that game? Looks like both teams have smacked the under in their last 4 games each, and they're putting the total at 6.5 again. Like it's been in 7 out of the 8 of the last games for these teams that have all gone under. So, I mean, where they set these spreads better or these totals better than I do. So let me know if I'm just, wrong. But, is it weird that this opened up at 6.5? After all these unders or what?
Maybe a tad. I will say that the Penguins, until very recently at home, they have been putting up a lot of goals. So, them at home today, I think it's going to be that similar type game. I wouldn't say like I do like the over. I wouldn't say it's like terribly weird that it's at 6.5 because I mean that's kind of the type of game they need to get into.
Okay.
But like you did say, I mean these teams haven't been putting up or giving up too many. You see a lot of unders recently, so this could be a good kind of bounce back spot. I see this going like one of two ways. I think if you take the over, you take the Knights, one of them is going to kind of regress toward the mean. Okay. I'm not recommending you do it that way, but it seems like something has to give between those two.
Okay.
That's kind of what I think of it. I'm not running to get involved in that game until we see some more movement for sure, though.
Yeah, I'm off. All right, let's talk about Thursday Night Football for a couple minutes. Wanted to bring up a couple of these football trends going on. Also, I wanted to bring this up just because it was whack. Kyler Murray doesn't care about anybody but Kyler Murray. Patrick Peterson said this on his podcast. Now, Patrick Peterson, correct me if I'm wrong, he's on the Vikings now? Or is he still on the Cardinals?
He's not on the Cardinals. He wasn't the Cardinals. I believe he's on the Vikings, right?
He's a Vikings quarterback. So
yeah,
he's on the team anymore. But I thought that was a crazy comment. It would have been weirder if he was still on the team, I think, but it's just a bad look for the kid, man. He just keeps getting rested.
Yeah,
I mean, do you think it's deserving? Or I feel like there's always other bullshit going on with this team, whether it's bad coaching or whether it's injuries or terrible defense. But like at the end of the day, your quarterback is your most important position by far on your team. And if he's not a good leader, that's going to affect the rest of the squad, and that's going to affect, your record. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'd say there's definitely something going on in that locker room. Like that's kind of beside the point. But I mean, we're talking about Pat Pete. I mean, Kyler. I saw the Kyler response, and everybody's spamming in the chat.
Oh, what he saw?
I mean, he just said like, I don't know why we're basically why are you trying to say this type of stuff just to get views on your podcast? And
oh shit,
it's 100% true. I mean, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to say something controversial is to stir up shit. So
that sucks.
It is what it is.
That sucks.
I mean, I'm not going to say he's wrong, but
just
trying to start stuff just to start it.
We'll give Kyler another pass, but I mean, this stuff's adding up.
It's not a pass because he's probably still guilty of that. It's just like Pat P's just
keep your mouth shut, bro.
He's just inciting for no reason.
It's got nothing to do with you, bro.
Yeah,
keep your mouth shut. All right, very very fair. Couple other things, couple other tweets that have actual meaning to football, not just that one. Primetime unders. We remember how hot they started, right? 20-11. They are 0-6 the last 2 weeks. We knew the regression was coming, right? And with, the majority of the bets on the over here, that total has gone down a couple points from where it started. So are you going with the over? Are you going with the under here? Do you think they bounce back? You think they make it 1-7 or 1-6 in their last 7 here?
I think the move down has a little bit to do with the weather because it's supposed to be really windy.
Right.
And I do have some fellas with boots on the ground in Foxborough and in Boston today. They're not excited to go sit in that game. That's cold and windy as it is. So I'm not really buying into the reverse move because I think it is because of that. But it is a really weird game. I mean, I can tell you I probably am not going to bet this game because there's too many things, both like with the weather and both there's the big sickness or whatever going through the Bills locker room, which is probably why the line dropped a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things going on. Like I think the Patriots, if you got them at an earlier number, is probably the play. But at this current number, I don't know if I can get myself to still rock with the Patriots. It's really worrying me. And like, there's not even like I like to look at prospects and see like, what looks high. I can't really point anything out really like, that's false. I can confirm that. I got boots on the ground. They're literally like his dad's a literal weatherman who's going to the game with him. So we'll be seeing that.
What are the odds of that?
Yeah, literal odds. He's actually like a weatherman in Rhode Island. So it's funny.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just a crazy coincidence.
Yeah, crazy coincidence. But yeah, there's nothing that really is pointing me to scream at that game, to be honest with you. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Wanted to see if they were going to put up Josh Allen interception prop, but they didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know, but Josh Allen, look, he's a covering machine, but he's also been throwing tons of picks this season. I think he leads the NFL in interceptions, which is a wild stat. I know that's not what this is talking about. This is him being a dog in primetime, which is making me want to take the Pats. I'm going to get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen's been throwing hell picks this season, and they're not putting him up on Prize Picks today. Let's stay posted and see. Maybe he throws another pick against this Bill Belichick ran defense. Would not be shocked. I like the Pats. Because of this. I like the Pats because, they're only getting 20% of bets and handle, and that line's moving the other way. Now, that could be for a lot of different reasons, right? And it's still the Patriots at home, and everyone likes betting on the Patriots. You feel safe betting on the Pats, right?
Yeah.
It's Bill Belichick, and it's the Bills have, they're 8-3, which is fine. But they have not looked great. Just plain and simple. They just haven't. They just haven't. They haven't been playing well ATS, obviously. They haven't covered in the last 5 weeks. Not really a shocker. In the past couple of years, it was the Chiefs who were the trendiest team, and the Chiefs were the ones that would never cover, that everyone was betting on. This year, it's the Bills. This year, the Bills are the team everyone loves and thinks are going to win the whole thing. Everyone bets on the Bills. Bills can't cover shit. I like the Pats here again. I like the points. I really do. Home dogs of 3.5 or more are hitting at a crazy 71% rate this year. Not going to lie, Kyle, that scares me a little bit. I don't know if that can continue. But maybe we can sneak one more in tonight. I feel good having my money on Bill at home against the best team in the NFL, but it definitely still scares me because it's still Bill and still the Pats. That's where my head's at in this one. I lean the under. I lean the Pats. I'm probably going to be on the Pats. Must-win game for them. I mean, every game's a must-win game for everybody. I hate that line, but it's a must-win game for the Pats, kind of. It really is. They need to win this game. No Damian Harris this week, right? So it's going to be the Ramondre show. He's going to need to go off. And are Mac Jones' numbers a little higher than you'd expect? Are they weird to you? Have you looked at them?
So it's not like his numbers, honestly, on Prize Picks are not very great for him. Like if I were to look at this, it would kind of make me not love the Patriots for everything except there's one, like his fantasy score, which is interesting. Like before last week, against the Vikings, it was at the same exact number, and he hadn't gone over. He's fully red, and then he soared over that last week. Now it's at the same number, which I've kind of gone back and forth of whether maybe he soared over that last week. No way he doesn't get it this week. He's almost doubled it, but at the same time, he hasn't gotten like relatively near this number for a majority of the season. So to see it there again it's interesting, I guess. I mean, maybe it makes me think that he's going to throw the ball in the end zone a couple more times again today, at least. But as far as like just outcome of the game, there's really nothing. Like if I mapped out the squares that we see for both of these teams every single game and would kind of be neutral on every side, it would be what we see right now. Like Ramondre touchdown, Diggs touchdown, no interception props, just average numbers across the board. So it's nothing for me there.
You got some boys working for you now. This is good. You got some help.
I saw that. I don't know if that was the only one. There might have been two. But I don't want to say they're coming to an end, but because they're still hitting at like a ridiculous rate. But you got to be a little more start being a little more careful on which ones make more sense now than some
other. Okay. All right. Conditions are nearly the same as that win game last year. Oh God. All right. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in this one. If it is a crazy weather game, I want my money on Bill. I want my money on Bill.
I think it's crazy. It's just probably like just enough to affect a couple different things.
Okay.
From what it sounds like. Because, I mean, Gillette, it's going to be windy in there if you blow. Just anytime. Put a fan on. And it's a wind tunnel.
Even Chode fan would still be really windy?
Yeah, Chode fan would get done there.
Okay. Wow. All right. Damn, RIP the Chode fan, man. Only the real ones now. We'll
probably make a sneak appearance a couple weeks.
Sure. Good. All right. Let's get some options out for the people. It's about that time. 20 and 8. 20 and 8. Incredible. Incredible work. Not from me. Not from Jovan. We're fucking alley-ooping. You guys are the ones fucking finishing that shit. You guys are the ones picking the winners. All right? And I need another one. All right? So let's get the people some goddamn options. And let's get a goddamn poll up. And let's find a goddamn squad ride. And let's be 21 and 8.
Let's do it.
After today. All right? Let's go with the Utes +7.
Yep. It's got to be in there. Simply.
Let's go with Texas at 6.5.
Yep.
Let's go with Was there a hockey play you wanted to put in?
The Caps. I do want
Let's
the
go
Caps.
with the Caps. Sure. I'm obviously down for that. Caps ML.
Yep.
I mean, do you not want to put in football today?
I mean, I don't feel strongly about a side total proper anything in that game. So I mean, if you do, feel free to put it in. But it's nothing great for me.
Okay. We could put the Norse in.
Okay. Down with that.
Is that line okay?
It's all right. Staying put.
Okay. Let's put NKU in plus 1.5. And you want to put in Oklahoma State? Or do you want to put in the Patriots plus 3.5?
I mean, out of those two, which is not saying much, like I'd probably be more inclined to bet Oklahoma State myself.
Okay.
But it's a tough couple options there. It's probably not going to win anyway, so you can put it in.
Utah or OK State has no shot, people in chat are saying. Let's put them in then. Put them in. Okay. OK State plus 8.5. Here's what we got. Listen up, because we only got 3 minutes to vote. So hurry up. Got OK State plus 8.5. We've got NKU, the Norse, plus 1.5. We've got the Capitals ML. We've got Texas minus 6.5. And we've got Utah plus 7, which I've already nuked. Just praying the line doesn't move anymore.
Yep.
Or if it moves towards Arizona, it moves towards Arizona. All right. That's what we got. Go vote. Go. All right.
I'm getting excited. Excited to bet the Pokes now. I'm getting real excited.
People still talking shit?
I mean, not talking shit, but just like the classic.
Yeah,
they can't
talking
score.
Shit's not a bad thing.
They can't score, which is true.
It is true. They can't score.
It's going to be a sold out gym, just like they've. Right. It turns out they've never played in a sold out gym ever.
All right, Texas off to an early lead. Damn. And then Utah following right behind them. I voted for Utah. It's probably my favorite play.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote for that too.
On the hardwood. Sure you can. That is exactly what I needed to say.
That's the energy right there.
Yes.
We'd love to see it.
Hell yes. Dumbass hat, bro.
Are we riding?
Hell yeah, we're riding. Remember I pitched you that sorry ass team last year and they covered?
Yeah.
It's lit. Hell yeah. We might have to get back to them. Trent, they're so bad, man. They're so bad, but we might have to bet them.
Oh, yeah. Wait, the squad ride. I thought that was going to be the squad ride.
Oh, no. I really hope not. It's getting some votes, though.
Yeah.
It's got 27 votes. Respect, honestly.
Fuck, am I going to have to go get the UT hat out?
You might have to go break out the UT hat, yeah.
You just might.
They're winning right now.
Lauren's going to be excited.
We'll be safe.
Sure.
Oh, we will.
Unbelievable. He's the guy. All right, get your votes in. Hurry up. Go.
While we're waiting on the votes, I do want to mention some of these Pac-12 games. I think you're going to get absolutely nuts tonight. I think there's going to be a lot of dogs, a lot of madness. Some of these teams are going on the road too. I mean, just like Arizona, like UCLA. I think I don't know if they lose and cover or don't cover or whatever, but I think they're going to struggle for like parts of that game. And I mean, there's going to be weird stuff in these openers tonight. Like I think Washington State, sorry, keep the points there. I'm taking the money line.
Sure.
That Oregon team is just not good, and they're continuing to get a lot more respect than I think they deserve. Good win against Nova, I will say. But I think that's a little recency bias in the line. I don't think this team is that good. They're hurt, they're banged up, they're thin. This Washington State team is more than competent. So I'll take that. Line's moving their way too, which I like. But don't be shocked when you see some absolute madness in these Pac-12 games tonight.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll be on Washington State tonight. We forgot to cover that game. Can't cover all of them. All right. Yeah. But yeah, give me Wazoo. Love that spot. Oregon's fraudulent. I've watched them play a couple times this year. They stink.
Yeah. They stink. Richardson is, I don't even know. Like it pains me watching him every single year. I don't know what the deal is, why he still thinks he's Steph Curry every single year.
Yeah. Well, let's hope he thinks he's Steph Curry tonight.
Yeah, that'd be
He's not.
great. That'd be great.
Because he's not. All right. Jovan, glad you're starting to feel better. You sound great. You look great. Let's hit our bets tonight. Swept the board yesterday. Let's run it back.
Let's do it.
Let's run it back. Why not us? All right. Why not us? Squad ride Texas. Hook 'em.
Today only.
Today only. Hook 'em. We're going to be